these Muslim people, right? That they're supposed to have this great Muslim God, and they think that Allah is real, and well, their religion is fake. It's a non, it's a not true. Okay, it's not true. It's a false religion. And the biggest clue that I can give you is, you know, all Muslim countries, except for those who are very rich by, by happens to be the wealth, oil, and etc. All Muslim countries that claim to be so religious and so faithful to God and Allah and all this other stuff, their countries are in shambles. They're always fighting. They don't know peace. They don't know peace. They don't love each other. They don't forgive each other. They're just thieves, pirates. In this case, I'm talking about Somalis. They want to insult the Christian countries, but at the end of the day, it is a Christian country that they find refuge in. See, they come to this country because they know we are wealthy. What I mean by wealthy is that we are protected by God. We have the most powerful military force on earth. Not only is that the truth, but we also have God watching over us. The true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, I don't like to make my lives, just to be a religious, throwing out there, because a lot of times when people use religion, in their message, they sometimes seem to do it so that they can make themselves more righteous, and somehow they think that by mentioning God, that whatever they say, that people are going to believe. Well, I say this: don't believe what I say. Go do your research. If you don't believe anything that I say, I don't blame you. Go do some research, and you will find that a lot of the things that I say are true. All right, let me go ahead and read some comments here. I don't want to leave you hanging. Good morning, Derek. I see you. Morning, Brian. Good morning, Tone from San Francisco. Appreciate you being in here. Appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. Some of you who are members are enjoying the Dennis Herrera Show cup mug that I sent you guys before I came to Honduras. Now, I'm not. I'll be very honest. I came here with no planning. You guys already know. I came here because my brother is here visiting after 3.5 decades, and we have never been in this country, Honduras, together since 1989. So I decided to go ahead and make this trip to be here with him. But the second reason for that, it's a lot of people when I am in the United States of America, they say that I'm an illegal immigrant. They detect this accent. I always show my American passport. They say, "Oh, that's fake." Well, the second reason why I came here is to prove that I am an American citizen. And, I am a migrant who has come to the United States of America. I was brought when I was 13 and a half years old by my mother. And, people make excuses to why they want to break the law. People want to make excuses to why they make mistakes. I'll tell you something. I did one of my lives, I think maybe a couple of my lives, I shared a story about when my mother was dying on her bed. I mentioned that I have told my mother that she had given me the best advice any parent can give their children. I said, every advice that you gave me was 100% true. It was 100% right. I said, I'm sorry I didn't follow that, but I will let you know any bad things that have happened in my life are the consequences of my bad decisions. So I don't blame you, Mom. I said, you are the best mother I could ever ask for. So I take responsibility. Don't you take any responsibility for the mistakes that I have made, because those mistakes gave me the consequences that I have to deal with in my life. And you know what? That's one of the things that a lot of people don't have: accountability. If you make a mistake, don't blame others for it. I'm going to give you an example. I'm almost 50 years old. I know a lot of you guys are older than me, but I'm almost 50 years old, and I can tell you this. I know people that are my age, even just a little bit older. who have a lot of better things than I have. They have houses, they have land, they got all these extra stuff that through hard work and dedication they have been able to accomplish. But I'm not gonna sit here and hate on them and say, "Oh yeah, you did that because you had it easy. Oh, because you had that. Because you no." They did it because they made the right decisions. They decided to move forward with their dream, but they've always done it the right way. And so, as a migrant in the United States of America, I am very proud that I have never tried to do anything illegal. I have never tried to go and break the law, besides a couple of speeding tickets when I was being foolish. That's okay. I'm not gonna get mad at people for speeding on the freeway. They get a ticket. There you go. You got your consequences. That's not the kind of law that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the immigration law. To be able to come in here and we have rights, legal rights that belong to American citizens. And a lot of people come here and abuse them. Now, I have spoken to many people here in Honduras, and I can tell you, hi, Rodolfo, how are you? And I can tell, Tyler, welcome, good morning. And I can tell you that many, many people have had the chance to break the law, you know, and they always claim, human rights. Well, let me tell you something. Human rights is different than legal rights. Now, you have to understand that. Now, if you are a citizen because you were born in the United States of America, you have no idea about becoming a naturalized citizen. You have to make an oath. And I can tell you right now, every single governor, senator, Congress, man or woman, anybody who is in power right now into politics and that has been a naturalized citizen, every single one of them is breaking their oath of protecting, of assimilating, and defending this country. The moment that they decide to call us the law abiding citizens, law abiding migrants who are in the process of becoming a citizen, those who have a green card, who are alien residents, those people, those are the ones that are actually supposed to be their responsibility. But these people that are in power, they have broken the oath to the United States of America and the people. Why? Because they have allowed foreigners, not just foreigners, but what's the word in English? Enemies, our enemies, to infiltrate our land, to infiltrate our government. And you know what they do? I'm going to tell you, I gotta give them credit. And you have to excuse my mind. I have ADD, and I put things a little bit crazy sometimes. But believe me, what I tell you is the truth. I want you to think about this. How long would it take for our enemies to take over the United States of America, to change the culture, to change the laws? Everybody knows, everybody knows that the legislature branch makes the laws. Congressmen, senators, they have to do that. They make bills, they make laws. So, what is the best way to infiltrate and destroy the country? They can't do it through war. They can't do a terrorist attack because they know we're going to obliterate their country. They know that we're going to disappear them. We don't care if they call us genocide, and we don't give a crap about that. If the land that is producing terrorists left and right, and everybody follows the same extremist religion, they should be obliterated, completely gone, wiped off the face of the earth. No more of those people. No more of that evil culture. So, that's one way of looking at it. And that is the very drastic way of looking at it. So they don't dare to attack us like that anymore. Instead, they have brought hundreds and thousands of refugees and they put them in small cities and states where they will have a chance to win a seat in government. Now, you guys might think that I'm over here just, spitting just bull crap out there, but it's not. It's not. Utah has another Somali person running for governor. Guess how many Somalis have moved to Utah? Idaho. It's not too far. We have this problem called Democrats in our country. Why is it Democrats? Is it because I hate Democrats? No, because Democrats don't exist anymore. What they call Democrats today, it's actually socialist, Marxist, communist. And if you've been on my lives, you may have heard this before. Now, if you didn't hear before, well, now you have. In Seattle, Washington, just happened to be a blue state and city, right? In Oregon, blue state and city, right? In California, blue state and city, right? All of these blue state and cities have the same damn problem, fraud. And it's not going to be just Somalis. Somalis, I think, is just probably just the tip of the iceberg. I think that the Americans are also involved in this. This is who I call traitors. Those who break the law, those who commit fraud, those who steal from the American taxpayers, those are traitors to me. Those who support illegal immigrants in this country, those are traitors to the United States of America. What is a country without borders? It's not a country at all. How do you know it's a country? You don't. There is no borders. If we don't enforce the law, we're going to lose our order. I talked to many uh, migrants who have come to the United States of America, and they all agree with me. Those who respect the law, I'm talking about, not the criminals, those who respect the law. When people come and challenge me, what do I say? Shut the hell up if you don't know what you're talking about. I like people that says, "Oh, these are the facts," and then they're just telling me stuff that they heard on the news. They don't do any research themselves. They don't use any common sense. We see people coming out there like this one guy, pretty, that got shot. They got shot over there. Listen, you guys see my shorts already, hopefully, right? They're gonna try to convince us. Oh, good morning, Rush. Oh, I see you. Sorry, I'm not looking at my phone, guys. This is how I'm checking your comments. Let's see. Just Rush, babe. Some people wish that I wasn't coming back to the States, but I will see you guys in a few weeks. Don't worry. To be honest, I miss my studio. it's it's so much comfortable. I just got my monitors are all set, and even though it's still not perfect, my monitors are all set. My site is getting bad, so doing this on my laptop, it's punishment. It is real punishment. But I will be coming back to the States. I miss you all over there. I know that I want to do lives here every single day, but you know how it is with the family. Everything is changes. I'm here on vacation, guys, and here we are working on this laptop. Like I should literally be like watching TV. I should just be walking around the town. I should just be eating all kinds of junk food and all the food in here that I can eat. But I still have to be able to bring in some news because you know I watch everything that's going on, and it never ceases to amaze me how gullible Americans are. I was watching. Let me see if I saved it up in here, but I was watching um, Brian Donalds. I think that's his name. I always forget his freaking name. Let me get to my profile here, and let's see if I pinned it to my Facebook page here. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a video for you here. This is the he's running for governor um, in Florida, and Byron Donalds it's is one of the guys that I have said I want to see in Congress. The guy's pretty level-headed, has a lot of experience, and here he is talking um, with a leftist guy who says that he used to be a Republican. I don't know if you have seen this before, but I'm going to go ahead and try to play it here for you guys. Now, I will warn you, this will probably get on your nerves, but I want you to listen to this. Cool Cat Renee, I see you, baby. Welcome to the chat. Jim, welcome, welcome. $20.9 billion and are acting criminally insane. Well, that's who they are, my friend. But take a look at this. I want you to watch this clip with me. It's going to be a little bit irritating. I am so sorry. It will be irritating. But this is the kind of people that try to argue with us. Okay. Now you guys know that Byron Donalds, it's a very smart guy. Okay, he knows what he's talking about. And this guy, this is what happens when you lose your nuts. Okay, and you decide that you want to go and claim that you were on this. You know what? Why don't you guys go ahead and watch it yourself? It is crazy. Listen to this.
I grew up, I've been a Republican most of my life. I was always taught about states' rights, though. So how do you feel about the federal government invading states? Because when I was a Republican, we wouldn't have stood for that.
When is this occurred?
Minneapolis right now.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Minneapolis. ICE has actually invaded the city of Minneapolis. I don't know if you've seen, there have been flashbangs going off. ICE shot a woman in the face.
No, you're very mistaken on what's happening.
Oh, she shot her in the chest.
Federal law enforcement has a duty.
Okay.
Federal law passed in that very building.
Yes.
Signed by former presidents of the United States to effectuate deporting criminal illegal aliens.
I do get no, but my question is the states' rights portion. When I was a Republican,
I'm answering your question.
But-
When the several states ratified the Constitution,
Okay.
part of the enumerated powers of the federal government is border security and naturalization. That's
Okay.
a federal power that the states grant to the federal government. So now you're out here telling me that because, and by the way, Chief, I respect you for your service.
Appreciate it, thank
But
you.
the states ratified the Constitution to be in our constitutional republic. The states granted the federal government the power over border security and naturalization. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So the federal government has a responsibility to make sure that is being effectuated in every state in the country. That's the very nature of federalism.
So
That's the nature of our
I'm
constitutional
not
republic.
disagreeing with any of that. I'm just saying
So,
that.
but you said
Okay.
it's an invasion, and what I'm communicating is that it's not.
Okay,
This is
so-
actually the powers under the Constitution, under law, and to be
I get
totally
that's the
blunt,
position.
we wouldn't be in this position. We would not be here if Joe Biden actually secured the country. He did not do that. He was derelict in his duty.
But I feel like you're kind of getting away from the point. My point was, and I'd like you to answer this, is when I was a Republican, we all had different opinions, but we would have lost our shit if the federal government had started acting like this. And we would have said, hey, Democrats, do something. So aren't you now just acting like what happened to the whole states' rights thing? So what exactly is the second? What exactly is the Second Amendment for if it's not for right now?
The Second Amendment has nothing to do with what.
What is the Second Amendment for then?
The Second Amendment has nothing to do with ISIS.
Well, when I was brought up as a Republican, when I was brought up as a Republican,
if we're going to talk about state rights, you're talking about the 10th
Can I finish
Amendment.
my statement?
Sure, go ahead.
So when I was brought up as a Republican, we were always told, it was dyed into our bones and blood, that we needed the Second Amendment because one day the federal government was going to come invade our cities and start taking away our rights. It sure shit looks to me like Donald Trump has invaded our cities and taken away our rights.
No.
So as a Republican, what do you think the Second Amendment is for?
First of all, the president is following the law.
What's the Second Amendment for?
We're at one thing at a time. We'll come to the Second Amendment because you
the
asked
Second
about,
Amendment is very important to me right now.
You asked me first about state rights, and you talk about quote unquote invasion by the federal government.
I'm just trying to figure out what Republicans believe.
Now I let you speak. You gonna let me speak?
Oh yeah, go for
Fair
it.
enough. Number one, the president of the United States is following immigration law. Passed by Congress, signed by former presidents, has been...
That's not true.
Yes, it is, sir.
The Supreme Court actually
Where
said...
do you believe ICE received the authority to deport illegal aliens out of our country? Do you think it's born in the Constitution? It is not. It is derived from constitutional powers granted by the several states in our Constitution. Congress has passed naturalization laws, including the ability to deport illegal aliens out of the United States.
I appreciate you teaching me
that.
that.
Is federal
Now,
law in the
can I
Constitution.
teach you
So,
something?
but hold on. But
Okay.
you then cannot say that there's some sort of invasion, which is a lie and not true, when the federal government is operating under the confines of federal law, empowered by the United States Constitution.
All right, number two,
if you want to talk about states' rights, that's the 10th Amendment. The states, and it's very clear, the 10th Amendment, Any powers that are not delegated to the federal government are reserved for the states and the people. Actually, you can combine the 9th and 10th Amendment. The framers cared that much about it. So if we're going to talk 10th Amendment powers, the states do not have border enforcement powers under the 10th Amendment. They can cooperate with the federal government, like my governor in Florida is doing, Governor DeSantis, Governor Abbott, and others. Or, mind you, Governor Walz is actually in violation of his oath of office, not supporting federal law, which is an oath he took when he became governor, which is an oath any elected official actually says when they get elected, whether you're a governor, a member of Congress like me, Senate, etc. Last one, Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, obviously, I 100% believe in it. I've always supported it. It is about your ability to defend yourself, and government cannot abridge that right.
Gotcha.
However,
Okay.
federal law and the Constitution empowers the federal government to enforce immigration laws. The Second Amendment, why this is actually a very valuable tool, we should always protect it. Because are you going to tell me that if somebody decided to drive that Volvo right at you, you don't have an ability to protect yourself? Because I would say you do.
I think that's called a straw man.
It's not a straw man. That's what happened in Minneapolis. Renee Good drove her vehicle at a law enforcement
All right, so
official.
that's actually not true, but
That is true.
Well, I want to get back
That
to
is,
a couple
sir,
things. Well, okay.
everybody's seen
I
the
let you
video
respond.
10
Can I go
times
now?
out of 10. Go
So
ahead.
one, you are aware that the Supreme Court decided 9-0 that Donald Trump violated the due process rights? You are aware of that, right?
Of who?
Kilmar Abrego, wasn't it? Supreme
So now
Court,
we're
9-0.
So now we're talking about one individual?
Well, no, that was an immigration thing because you said that Trump. I'm just reminding you that the Supreme Court said 9-0 that Donald Trump broke federal law. He violated the Constitution.
How many
hold on.
illegal aliens have been sent back home?
I don't give a shit. We're talking about
Well,
violating due
that
process.
matters. No, you're shifting your argument. You first
Well,
you talked about
actually, well,
invasion,
no, you
then you're
stopped-
talking about states' rights.
Sir, you've
now you're
cut me
talking
off
about the
several
Second Amendment.
times.
I've not, but now we're
Yes,
having
you
a
have.
debate and a dialogue.
I was
because
actually-
we're recording it too. So actually, I'm
I
not
was
cutting
trying
you
to
off.
finish my statement.
I will let you finish it,
So
but if you're
again-
going to shift the topics
I
and shift
wasn't.
the arguments,
I let you
we
make-
got to stay consistent. But
I let you make 3 points and you went through your 3, so now I'm going through my 3. So, Supreme Court decided 9-0. Even Clarence Thomas agreed that Donald Trump violated the Constitution and violated somebody's due process rights. Hope you would care about that. We can get back to that later. Second, the Second Amendment. What exactly is it for? I say, again, we can sit here and disagree about what states' rights should or shouldn't be. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy that when I was a Republican, we wouldn't have stood for the federal government invading our states. So now you're sitting here telling me, taking the position that Republicans are very pro them invading the states. But then you're also going to tell me that you're pro Second Amendment because I should be able to defend myself. So can I defend myself against ICE agents who broke the law?
Name the agent that actually broke the law.
Okay, I have on video an ICE agent documenting assaulting me. Will you help me find that agent?
So let's
will you commit to find?
Hold on.
Will you
let's
commit
circle
to find?
back. Because I don't have any information, so I'm not going to.
I have a video. It was in the newspaper.
I'm not going to be here all day, but I want to address the 3 things.
If you can
said.
help me.
Now,
Well, actually, I
you,
haven't gotten
before
to all,
I
but
let
okay.
you finish, and you
Okay.
said let me finish.
Okay.
Now I'm responding, so allow me.
I still hadn't finished, but go for it.
You did. Because you asked me a question, and now I'm responding. Number one, I don't know the issue you're talking about. Number two, to Kilmar Garcia, that's a specific case that the Supreme Court rendered a decision on.
Yes.
And what? Hold on. And here's the kicker.
I was just agreeing with
What did the President of the United States do when the Supreme Court came back? Did he follow the order of the court? Yes or no? What did
no.
the President of the United
No.
States do after the Supreme Court rendered a decision?
I believe he didn't actually bring him back for a while. Do you want to talk about Kilmar's case? Because I would love to talk about
No,
Kilmar's
but
case.
I'm talking about it because you brought up one issue. Here's the reality.
So do you want to talk about one issue or not? I'm
okay.
confused. Pick one.
Look,
I don't care.
I know this is going to play well for your social media, but let me answer you.
I'm not here for social media. I'm here
He's
for
recording.
democracy.
You have a mic. This is social media.
I met this dude 2 minutes ago, and I'm here.
Dude, you're recording here. You got this one over here. This is for social media. Stop that. Let's be genuine.
Do you want to see how many Instagram followers I have if you think I'm for social
listen,
media?
It doesn't matter, but you're recording, you're miking, it's fine. That's the deal. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
I don't
Look,
care.
I have 132
hold on.
followers. I am
Before
not
you-
here for social
Before you
media.
even play that, before you play that, that's not what I'm talking about. But you have to acknowledge the reality. You keep calling it an invasion. It's not. Federal law requires ICE to perform their duty.
Okay.
The former president of the United States blocked ICE from following federal law. So is it okay for a president of the United States, you want to talk about Kilmar, is it okay for a president of the United States to block ICE from doing their duty, allowing for the real invasion of more than 10 million illegal immigrants into the United States during his presidential term? Because that's the history. That's actually what happened. President Trump is now fixing that, operating under the law, operating under the 10th Amendment, operating under the laws that Congress has passed, because the federal government is authorized under the Constitution. It is an enumerated power to secure the nation and to deal with all naturalization issues. It's in our Constitution, sir. So, and listen, I respect your service to the military, but now I'm going to ask.
Here's where they assaulted me.
I respect your service to the country. I truly do.
I appreciate it.
But when you served the nation, you also took an oath to uphold the Constitution.
I did.
The Constitution is clear about which authority, where the authority lies for immigration and naturalization, and it is not with the states. It is with the federal government.
Yes.
Is that clear?
It is. I'm just very surprised to see MAGA has taken the position of very pro-federal rights and has just completely said fuck it to state rights.
No, it is a constitutional argument.
So can
sir.
states say?
This is not about MAGA.
So can a state
this is not
say?
About progressives. Or
can a
anything
state
like that.
say we do not want you in our state?
No, they cannot. Not when it
Okay,
comes
so
to
what happened to
immigration.
states' rights then?
Actually, not.
What happened to states'
sir,
rights?
What part
What's
of
the Second
what
Amendment
part
for?
of enumerated powers are you missing?
As a former Republican,
What part
if the
of
Second
enumerated
Amendment was
powers
for
are you
the
missing,
federal
sir?
government to invade my state, what's the Second Amendment
Sir,
for?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you sign, I'm assuming either your mortgage or your lease agreement.
Mortgage?
Mortgage?
Yep.
When you sign that mortgage agreement, if you don't make the payments, what happens to the house?
The fuck are you talking? Where's the question?
Because
Where are you
this
going
is
with
what I'm talking about is contract law. The Constitution
Now we're on
is a
contract law.
constitutional legal framework for governing America.
So the fact
If
that Donald
you don't
Trump
pay-
violated
hold on,
it.
he did not. If you don't,
The Supreme Court
What's up,
said
Doc?
nine-
How you doing? Hey, buddy.
The Supreme Court
If
said
you-
9-0
listen
that
to
he
me.
violated it.
We already talked about Kilmar. We're coming
Did he-
back.
but
We're
did-
coming, we
did the-
talked about. No,
did the
don't.
Supreme Court-
You're shifting topics.
did the
again.
Supreme
Sir,
Court-
if you're going to debate, don't shift topics. Because here's how
Did the
this plays.
Supreme Court say Donald
When we
Trump
upload
violated
the
the
video,
Constitution?
when we upload the video, here's how
Okay.
this is going to play. I made a salient point about constitutionalism and legal frameworks, and when I started doing that, you shifted to one issue on Kilmar.
Okay.
Let's come back
Pick
to the
the case.
concept.
What case are we talking about?
You came to me talking about, is it okay for the federal government to invade? And I said to you, it is not happening because
It is
the
happening now.
Constitution authorizes the federal government, which the states signed on when the Constitution was ratified, and every new state that came into the country all assigned to the Constitution.
And that's why I said so.
Sir,
MAGA's gotten rid of
border
states' rights.
security. No, stop it.
So what does states' rights mean to you?
We are a constitutional republic. Read the 9th and 10th
Okay,
Amendment.
so what does state rights mean to you then?
Here's exactly what it means. It's
Okay.
under the 10th Amendment.
Can you explain it to me?
I'm trying to do that. You going to interrupt me again?
10th Amendment.
Any powers not enumerated which is the
Okay.
Constitution, and which powers reside where, then we're never going to.
Okay, then maybe
Is
we
that
got
fair?
off. That is fair.
That's fair.
Again, I'm a Navy chief.
Yeah.
We are very passionate about the Constitution. So again, will you admit that the Supreme Court decided 9-0 that Donald Trump violated the Constitution?
The court already rendered a decision.
Did
What are
they-
we-
and did-
the court already rendered a
And
decision.
what was the
are we
decision?
talking about?
What was the decision?
Sir, you just said. What are we
No,
talking about?
will you say Donald Trump violated the Constitution?
This is the social media part.
And this is what I'm talking about. A congressman can't
social
answer a
media
question.
part. Sir, we already acknowledged
Did
the
Donald?
court role. We already.
So then
but
say
your
it.
assertion
Just
is
say
that
the words.
Why?
Why
your
can't
assertion
you?
Is, your assertion
'Cause it's a
is,
cult?
is that ICE.
Did
is
Donald Trump
invading
violate the
states,
Constitution?
And I'm telling you that's
Did
wrong.
Donald Trump violate the Constitution?
Do you actually follow the 10th Amendment and enumerated powers in the
Why
Constitution?
can you not say if Donald Trump violated the Constitution? or
Because
not?
you can't even acknowledge the governing framework of our country, sir.
You're the congressman, not me.
Sir, you're a citizen of the United States, just like I am. Whether I'm
No,
a congressman
you're
or
a
not,
congressman.
whether I'm a congressman or not is irrelevant. We all have sir.
You as a congressman are irrelevant.
When they
That
left
is
the
right.
Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, and Benjamin Franklin came out and he was asked, what do we have, a monarchy or a republic? And he said, we have a republic if you can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
The very essence of keeping the republic is abiding by the constitutional framework. If we now decide that framework is not consistent, we can pick and choose whenever we like to follow it or not, then we don't have a country, we don't have a governing framework.
I agree
we might
with
as well
that.
have anarchy.
I
And that is
absolutely agree
And
with
I will
that.
tell you, sir, that is what the President of the United States is trying to stop. He is maintaining our constitutional framework. The previous administration
Okay.
ignored the constitutional framework. They exposed our country in so many levels. We have people worrying about housing in our country while states were giving away freebies to illegals in our country.
You're
while American
monologuing.
citizens are struggling.
You're monologuing.
I'm not monologuing. I'm telling you the truth. So what I'm telling you is If you and I can't agree on that fundamental fact, I appreciate your service.
Well, I do have
I have a constitutional
question. One constitutional question, since you mentioned the 10th Amendment.
I have the entire time.
Okay, so we spoke about the Second Amendment.
Yes.
What would you do if Democrats came for the Second Amendment the same way Donald Trump went to the 14th Amendment? Because didn't he just go roughshod over it?
What are you talking about, the 14th Amendment? We're changing the amendment.
Do you know what this?
I know what the 14th
Well, this is a
Amendment
second
says,
question. This is a follow-up question, separate from our previous
it's more
conversation.
Like question 9, but okay. Are we going to talk about the 14th Amendment? I'm assuming birthright citizenship. Is that what we're going to talk about?
So my specific question is, if a president has the right to unilaterally rule on birthright citizenship, as Donald Trump attempted to do, what would you do if a Democrat president tried to do the same thing to the Second Amendment?
Number one, the Second Amendment is very clear about the right to bear arms in the country.
So is the 14th Amendment.
Oh, sir, people have tried to do things.
I'm not going to let you sit here and give me bullshit answers.
I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. People have tried to come here and abridge the Second Amendment. In my view, a lot of those times that has failed. I think it was President Clinton did the assault weapons ban, if I remember correctly, and that is now not the law of the land, because, quite frankly, the federal government does not have the ability or the authority under the governing document of our nation, Second Amendment, to abridge Second Amendment rights. But if you want to talk about the 14th Amendment, the 14th Amendment was written for black slaves,
Yes.
who are actually the people who came here through no fault of their own, for black slaves to become citizens, because you had states in the country that were denying them citizenship and the right to vote and all inalienable rights.
I know what it's for.
Congress never passed any law under the 14th Amendment allowing for birthright citizenship. This is something that was just allowed to happen.
No,
there is no law in our framework.
That's
Nothing in statutes
you're wrong
about birthright citizenship.
You were just plain wrong.
No, you're wrong, sir. The 14th Amendment.
Hey, Baltimore.
Was
so
for
I'm going to put the
black
14th
slaves.
Amendment right here, and the Second Amendment right
The
here.
14th Amendment was for black slaves. Do you agree with that or not?
What?
Was the 14th Amendment written for black slaves? Yes or no?
I will say primarily. I'll give you that one. Yeah. So
I mean, how am I wrong? I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, but the words,
and by the way,
the words of
and
the 14th Amendment.
I mean, I'll put it this
What
way.
is does the 14th Amendment say black slaves?
If the writer
Does the 14th Amendment say black slaves?
At the time when they ratified the 14th Amendment, nobody at that time in these buildings ever thought that the Democrat Party would be so kooky to just say that you can have birth tourism where we have foreign nationals who fly into our country for the purposes just to give birth so the child has citizenship when their parents have no allegiance to the United States. That's the very essence of what the United States has allowed for the last 70 years. 90 years, actually.
Okay, so one, I have the 14th Amendment pulled up right here.
I've read it several times. I know what it says.
Okay, well, then you should know that it actually isn't just for slaves. So
that's your interpretation, sir. But at the time that the 14th was ratified, it was specifically for slavery.
Are you familiar with Dred Scott?
The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, the Civil War
Have you heard
Amendments,
of my friend Dred Scott?
Slavery. Sir, of course. What are you talking about?
Okay, so my point is that if the Constitution says that all people are going to be citizens, the Constitution did not just say, hey, this is only for slaves. So if you want to change that, then you should do another constitutional amendment. The problem is that the way Donald Trump has run roughshod across the 14th Amendment, when Democrats come into power, they're going to turn around and do the same thing for the Second Amendment. You're not going to have a fucking thing to say about it because you were shut. You didn't say a goddamn word when we ran over the 14th Amendment.
I disagree with that on two
So now
levels.
you're only picking which amendments you follow.
No, that's not true. So I disagree with you on two levels. Number one, the 14th Amendment, again, these are powers given to the federal government for naturalization.
Right, I can read it.
The naturalization powers were never ratified past the 14th. And the 14th for Civil War.
It's a fucking amendment to the Constitution.
It was written for black slaves because slavery, which was a stain on our nation's history, but it's the truth.
Glad we agree on that.
Slaves were here and they were taken advantage of, dehumanized, not allowed to have any ability to own property, actually even find out how they can actually make decisions, have agency for themselves. That was stripped from them. The Civil War amendments were to restore that. What has now happened in the radical left-wing open borders crowd is they abuse the 14th. I'm not saying you, I'm talking about the movement. They abuse the 14th Amendment for the sole purpose of continuing to bring rampant immigration into the United States that is unchecked. And that's not fair to American citizens,
But then you're taking the position that since the last president did whatever, and so Trump can come in and just run roughshod and do whatever he wants with the 14th Amendment.
He's not running roughshod.
You're not letting me finish my question.
Has Congress passed any law dealing with birthright citizenship? Yes or no?
Okay. Can I finish my question? So when
you're asking the same question.
when the next president comes in and says, hey, I get that you guys said Trump could do all this because the last president did blah, 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 blah on immigration, the next president's going to come in and say, well, then I'm going to do this with the Second Amendment because Trump did blah, 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 blah. What's your argument going to be? Because you were totally fine with the president doing whatever the fuck they want.
I would argue that anybody who's running for president in this country who says they're going to come in and actually abridge the Second Amendment rights of Americans.
But what about the 14th Amendment?
Whoa, did you ask about the second?
No, I actually asked about both.
It's actually not going to be president
I actually asked about why you're only supporting one and not the other.
What are you talking about?
Why are you only supporting the Second Amendment and not the 14th?
I support
That's been my question.
I support both of them, sir.
Donald Trump doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Sir, it's your application. That's why we're going to court to define how laws are applied. That's always how it's been. It always has been. Matter of fact, you're cherry picking because you had a president who just ignored the southern border, unlike any other Democrat.
That's a question.
So I was.
So you want to call me and you want to talk about Minnesota being invaded by the federal government. That is the topic that we just jumped into. Migrants have been infiltrating our country just to get the resources and everything that they want without giving loyalty or giving their lives for this country. If you guys don't respect the laws of this country, you shouldn't be in this country. It's that simple. So the human wants to come in here and talk shit. So he has enough time to come in here and say something negative, but not enough to call because he's not settled in his jammies when he's at home. Okay, I get it. Let's see. Do our complete homework, my friend. Mexicans have been on the western part of the. Michael, como eres pendejo, man. For real, man, hold on, man. Let me tell you something, man. Why is it that you dumbasses don't understand that there was a war, there were battles, countries have been conquered, period. Nothing stolen, taken. There's a big difference. Had been conquered. That was the law of the land back then. Why don't you get that through your thick skull? And even if you were born here, you wouldn't be getting deported because you'll be a citizen, you moron. You're so retarded. But if you come from another part on the other side of the border, you are no longer a partaker in this land. So shut the hell up if you don't know what you're talking about. This whole continent is divided in North, Central, and South America. Mexico does the same thing. Honduras does the same thing. Canadians do the same. Every country does the same thing. So shut the hell up. Stop bringing that shit up. I don't understand why these Mexicans, they think that they are Native Americans. You're not Native American. I don't care how you spin it. I'm not Native American. And yes, I am also a native from Central America. That doesn't make me a Native American. How retarded is it? You guys always bring up that issue. Oh, America is the continent. Shut the hell up. It is the continent. That doesn't give you the right to be in here. You ain't shit. Everybody is the same. You are not better than anybody else. You follow the law and respect the law as everybody else is supposed to follow and respect the law. Now, this guy, you ain't shit, Aztec. Shut up. Shut up. You ain't shit. If you were, you would at least respect these damn laws in this country. So shut the hell up. Let me tell you something. This guy comes up to Byron Donalds, saying that ICE agents have invaded Minnesota. What a moron. Coming in here says he's a Navy chief. First of all, he's probably a veteran, if at that. What I would like to know is how the hell does someone like this guy become a Navy chief? Was it a DEI Navy chief? Was he gay enough to be a Navy chief for the Democrats? Probably, because he obviously has no freaking brains. He doesn't understand the Constitution. He doesn't understand that states, to become a country, have given the authorization to federal government to oversee immigration issues and laws and to enforce the laws. States cannot tell the federal government they cannot come into their city to deport illegal immigrants. They can't say that, which, by the way, brings me back to this point. Why the hell are they not getting arrested for harboring fugitives, for harboring criminals? If you want to fight the law, fight that. Don't come over here and start talking shit about us. Go fight the law. Go tell them, hey, listen, I don't care. You think you're native, bro? You ain't native. Shut up, man. Man, you ain't native. You wish you were native. Noah Movino Dennis makes stuff up. Listen, I don't understand. I don't understand why Bovino uh, didn't say the truth about throwing the small grenade. Number one, he is in his right to do so. So what? So what? I don't understand why he lied, but hey, whatever it is, I believe that he stepped down. I think he's going back to California. It's what I heard. What the hell is wrong with this damn mic? Man, it's so freaking moist out here. It's sticking to my chest. All right, let me see if I can move this. Let's see if that's good enough. So, anyways, so the reason why Aztec, why you think I'm so mad? What do you think that is? I'm sick of morons in my country, in the United States of America, giving attention, getting attention. You guys shouldn't get any attention at all. You should all be all packed up in a little ball and sent to Cuba and just leave you there. Just no more coming back to the States. I guarantee you'll come back on a freaking boat with some of those illegal Cubans that like to come to this country. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You'll be begging to come back over here. But if you think that I'm wrong, why don't you go ahead and just go anyway? Go move to Cuba and enjoy your freedom in Cuba. Go ahead. I give you that. So here's the thing. This moron here is arguing with Byron Donalds, and he starts off with, why do you think that it's okay for President Trump and ICE to invade, for the federal government to invade a state? First of all, they are not there invading a state. They are in there, which they have the right to be in there. They have jurisdiction. So they can go anywhere in the country. They have jurisdiction. That's first of all. Second, the states have agreed to allow them. This is in the Constitution. They have agreed. Every state has a constitution. Even Washington State, which right now they are denying them. Well, they're trying to deny ICE agents, which, by the way, they are already in Washington State. Okay, they are denying federal agents to come in and enforce immigration law. Well, let me tell you something. The Constitution of Washington State says that every citizen in Washington State has the right to their privacy. But here's the kicker. The Constitution of the United States of America overrides the state's constitution. And it says that by giving authorization by a law enforcement or a representative of the state, they are allowed to do anything that are covered under the Privacy Act. Now, I've given you the federal laws before, the 118 SNC, I think it was 111 through 115. It talks about all those things on there. And people don't look at they don't do the research. But I've shown this before in my channel. Now, if you're new to my channel, I get it if you're asking dumb questions. They say there is no dumb questions. There is dumb questions, and they're always going to be dumb if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay? So, let's see. I don't see any comments on here worth reading, to be honest. So unless you put in a super chat, shut the hell up. First of all, pretty shooting. I think it was pretty dumb. I'm not going to tell you that ICE agents are perfect, but I will tell you something. Every single citizen should be aware that they cannot interfere, impede, or be an obstacle to federal ICE agents, for they are law enforcement. Some of these libtards out there, they say they're not law enforcement. Why? Because Tampon Tim has told them. Because the friar over there, the Mayor Friar, is over there telling them to get the hell out of the Minnesota. Like he has the right to say that. So they've been telling their children, because that's who these libtards are, their children who are spoiled, They got no discipline. They have nothing but rebelliousness and ignorance in their brains. They go out there and do all this crazy shit that they know they shouldn't be doing. Number one, you want to protest, you got the right to protest peaceably. That means that you don't impede your federal agents. You don't impede law enforcement from enforcing the law. It's very simple. Very important. And I say this in one of my, and I said this in one of my shorts. If you want to go and protest, okay, listen, you can have your weapons. You know, I'm always strapped. So if I go to a protest, I got my gun. I'm strapped. That's okay. You know, I think on my video I said don't bring a gun, but that's really not what I mean. What I mean is don't bring a gun if you're gonna go in and confront the agents face to face, because that's how you get in trouble. Now, I can go and bring my weapons because I have a Second Amendment, and that is my right. That is an American right. Everybody can have their weapons. Of course they can. But you know what? You do that from the sidewalk. You stay out of the way. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. You know, you can still hold your sign, make your point. Say, you know, you're against this and you're against that. But I'm going to tell you something. If you are out there protesting ICE agents, you are a traitor to this nation. Because I'm sick and tired of people calling me a traitor to my people. Why? They say I'm a traitor to Hondurans, to Mexicans, and to all these Hispanic people because I respect immigration law. Is that right? So I do represent my people. Okay, well, let me tell you how I represent my people. I represent my people like this: have some discipline, have some respect, follow the law. If you are not allowed in this country, don't come to this country. Very simple. Just because you have a house, it doesn't mean that I should have a house. That's not how it works. You did it the right way. You invested, you saved, you sacrificed. I didn't. I don't deserve a house. That's how that works. So if I'm going to represent my people, I'm going to represent them in the educated way. I'm going to represent it as the law abiding migrant. That is a real law abiding migrant. Never overstay your visa, respect the law, follow the process. You have to assimilate. You know, I say I'm a Honduran American, but in reality, I'm just an American because my loyalty belongs to the United States of America. It's very simple. So if anybody comes into my chat and says I'm the real Native American, shut the hell up. What the hell does that mean? You are you? Then why don't you respect the laws? Respect the laws. The chiefs before you agreed to the laws. They had no choice, but they agreed to avoid extinction. If the white man in history would have decided to kill all Native Americans, they would have done it completely, 100% annihilation. But they didn't. You know why? Because one way or another, whether you like it or not, they were Christian men. That's right. You might not like it, but that's the truth. You who are here saying, I'm a Native American, shut the hell up and be grateful if you are. Respect the law. Follow the orders that are given to everybody, every citizen in this country. That's what I will say. Yeah, you know, if you want to go against me, you can go ahead and go against me all you want. But you're not going to beat me when it comes to immigration because I understand how it works. I understand that our enemies cannot beat the United States of America because they're too strong. But they can come here, get papers, become citizens, and run for Congress. Guess what they do in Congress? They change laws. They are the ones fighting for illegal immigrants. And we have allowed them to do that. We have allowed them to do that. So think about that. If you see ICE agents, I want you to know. And if you didn't know, I hope that by now you do know that those guns that they have, they are real bullets. There is real consequences to obstructing federal agents, impeding, interfering. Yeah, people say, "Oh, they don't need to send that many people, you know, for just one guy." Yeah, they do because of morons like the libtards that go out there and protest. That's the problem. You are making it harder for other people to be free, and you don't even notice. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that you think so selfish. You don't think about what you can do for this country. The United States of America has a very dark history, like any other country, any other country. You know, there's one thing that I'm Rush, I just caught your comment. Aztec, you will always be an idiot who believes he's always right, but we know you know. Aztec, shut the hell up, bro. Oh man. All right. Let's see. Mike Lopez says, "Go help Honduras." Oh, buddy, I made an oath to the United States of America, and I am going to help the United States of America. And if I can be somebody in the United States of America, I will always help Honduras. Absolutely, 100%. But my loyalty and my priority is the United States of America. So shut the hell up. Okay, all right, let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Tanya, I see you, baby. Welcome, Tanya. We are the ones that assumed our government were doing the right thing. We have to fix it together. Absolutely. Let's see. James says, I've heard so many bullshit lies on here. He was protecting a woman, he was protecting a business. He walked up to ICE agents with a loaded gun and two extra clips and started a fight. I don't know if I misread that. I thought you were going somewhere with that. My bad. Yeah, we just want illegals out. That's it. Aztec, you are adding to the dark history. Shut up. Zabringa, oh, I'm glad that you guys understand each other. I have friends from Honduras. They're hardworking and family oriented, very kind to me and helped me and treated me like family. You're an asset to this country. I'm going to tell you something. Every country, guys, it's not just Honduras, it's not just the United States. Every country has good citizens, good Samaritans, good hospitable people. But I can tell you, there's a lot of jackasses here in Honduras. There's a lot of crazy ass people over here as well. Yeah, like, I mean, I try to walk down the street, just, where I grew up. I don't care. I'm not afraid of walking out here anytime. But the family here, they won't let me. They think it's so dangerous. Oh, you can't go there. They're gonna rob you. It's like, what the hell? They're gonna rob me? My phone? So what? Let them take the phone. I got a new one in the States. No big deal. But I'm not afraid of going out on the street. It's not a big deal to me. But anyways, my priority is the United States of America, and I am hoping that the relationship that President Trump has with the new president of Honduras is going to be a game changer for Honduran people. I really believe that. Okay, and I really want that. So, with that being said, I'm going to go back to all these wetbacks that like to come into my chat and try to tell me how to be an American when they themselves don't know how to respect the law or how to be American themselves. You cannot you cannot just go protest everything out in the air. You just can't. You're stupid if you're one of those people that like to just go protest everything. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You're just going to go protest. You guys use no common sense. You got two people killed already, and you still don't learn the lesson. You still don't learn the lesson. I wish I can say, they need to make an example. Well, they got two examples, and people still don't get it. So now we have President Donald Trump, who has been talking now, finally, with Tampon Tim and Frey. And they're going to work something out. Now I'm going to say something, and this is the one thing I don't like about President Trump. I hate the fact that he always says that he has this great relationship with other world leaders, and those world leaders keep screwing him over through media. For example, Delcy, the vice president who became the president of Venezuela. She's emboldened herself to try to act tough because her military, see, they feel protected because nothing's happening to them. They forget what fear looks like. Now, when she was afraid of President Donald Trump, she's, oh, no, no, yeah, we're going to come to an agreement. But now she's getting comfortable. Now she sees how Democrats are over here, stupid Democrats are over here fighting for illegal immigrants. They're fighting for communists, and they know they're communists. So now they feel emboldened, and they think that by having all these little riots outside, which, by the way, is the minority of the people, if the majority of the people stand up, these people are done, probably dead, but they will be done. And I'm sure that our enemies, they want us to go into a civil war too, because that way we can destroy ourselves. That way it's easier for them to attack us from the outside. See, you guys have to understand something. We have been infiltrated. Oh, for Pete's sakes, why can't people say, why can't you guys see this shit yourself? You just had over 21 million illegal immigrants busted in as an invasion into this country. On top of that, you got all these Muslim terrorist people being flown in here as a helping hand. It's asylum, it's refugee people. You know what? They don't give a shit about America. They don't give a shit about you guys. They don't care about you or me. And you morons are out here fighting the only people who is actually trying to do something for this country. Will Trump make a mistake? Absolutely. Shut the hell up. He's not perfect. So what if he makes mistakes? You morons have been empowered, have been destroying our nation. We are actually building our nation, whether you like it or not. It's irrelevant. It is being fixed. So the reason why I got this hat is specifically for libtards who keep supporting shit that is destroying this country. You can't sustain a country with people like you. You got to be able to change the mentality and be like, hey, listen, I supported these guys for a long time. I don't see anything good. You know what I find? How stupid minded people really are. Oh, I voted for Trump because I want to change. But now I'm going to go back to Democrats because I don't like what Trump. Shut the hell up. Pussy. That's what you guys are. Pussies. Bunch of kitty cats. Man, grow some cojones, will you? Stand up for your country. Stop thinking with emotional distractions. Use your common sense. Invaded by 21 plus million illegal immigrants and who knows how many else. Invaded by this such refugee seekers, asylum seekers. And what do? They come here. They come in here and use our resources. I've said this many times. They're like locusts. Now you guys can see it because you guys are retarded. I understand that. But you have to understand there's three major things that are happening in this country. Well, in the United States of America, when I get back, three major things that people never understand or never see it until it's too late. Canada's paying for it already. Venezuela paid for it already. Cuba paid for it already. China's paid for it already. Millions and hundreds of millions of Chinese have been killed by their own government. First of all, they want us to have a war, a civil war too. They want you and me to be fighting, killing each other. That's one. Second, an invasion coming into this country, whether it's illegally or legally, they are infiltrating our government. And what are they doing? They are draining our resources, welfare, healthcare, their housing. Come on, we got fraud in Somalia. It's not just Somalis, it's all over the states. Fraudulent daycares, money. When the government uses money for NGOs, that's when people lose their tax paying, the tax dollars. Okay. And number three, with the invasion that we have had in this country and the self destruction from inward is going to weaken us enough for China or even Russia or even India to attack us. Muslims are already in our country. It's just a matter of time before they align and say, let's go. It's just a matter of time. And I'm going to tell you, you better be fighting for your children's future. You don't let your children, make decisions for you. You got to tell them what to do. You got to teach them who they are. See, they're breaking you down. You don't understand. First of all, there's demonic forces all over this. They want your children to be mutilated. They have men like the one that just showed you. I used to be a Republican, but now I'm a leftist. Yeah, well, now he's gay. He's on the left side. And I wish it was one of the strong gay guys, like on the Republican side. But he's not. He's a weak man with a very conflicted emotional soul. He forgot to use common sense. He has the first, second, the fifth, the 10th, the 14th Amendment right in front of him. He knows them, but he has no idea what the hell they mean. See, he has the knowledge, but he doesn't have the wisdom to understand what the hell kind of power he has on his hands. I understand a lot of you that come in here from the left side, you guys think that you know everything, but you know what? You don't. You don't know anything. I can tell you that people that are out there destroying our cities, those are terrorists, domestic terrorists. I don't understand why the police just go out there and just take them out. Just boom, 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 take them out, kill them all, kill them all, no mercy, kill them all. There's no such thing as taking them alive. They have to understand. They have to have fear to respect other people's property. None of this bullcrap where mothers are suing an old lady or an old man because her teenage kids went over there and tried to rob them at gunpoint, and then they're the ones that got killed. You'll tell me that criminals get to go over there and put innocent men and women in jail? No. An example has to be made. And you got three things destroying our country: illegal immigrants, legal but enemy infiltrators into our country, not just to come and visit, but they actually have positions in Congress, in the Senate, governors, mayors. Unbelievable. When did we give up on the United States of America? When did we give up on vetting people? Isn't there a process that should ask me questions? Why do you want to be a governor? Isn't there a process that should ask me those questions? Well, hey, I love the people. I want Washingtonians to be successful. I want this state to be the best state in the country. I want the economy to flourish. I want all illegal immigrants out of this state. I want my Washingtonians, my legal resident aliens, and my citizens, natural, and land birth. I want all of my constituents, not illegal immigrants, but all of the constituents in my state to be taken care of. Absolutely, 100%. I want everything to be about Washington State and its people. It's all about the United States of America and about cooperation with the federal government to ensure safety and security for all people who are in the states legally. We'd also like to clarify that the Constitution of the United States of America is only for American citizens, which is why the slaves had to get the citizenship. That is why women also had to get the right to vote, so that they can also be we the people. Now, you guys didn't even think about that. Women were not we the people until they actually got the right to vote. With that being said, that is our history. It is constitutional. And if you are in another country besides the United States of America and you don't like us and you want to give us your input on what you see wrong, shut the hell up. We don't care about your opinions. All right, let's say Riley, unfiltered leering like Trump University. Trump University was a freaking failure. We know that. But you can continue leering the way that you want to leer. I am actually going to bring in some news from the five. Now, I haven't watched this video, but I thought it was actually pretty good from the clip that I did watch. I want to say, first of all, oh, geez, here we go. Keon, you're not even from this country, bro. What the hell are you saying? Let me see. Alex was murdered for using his First and Second Amendment rights. Okay, are you a moron? Are you like naturally retarded? Or are you just doing this to just to what? Just to piss me off or something? There is responsibilities that comes with the First and Second Amendment. Responsibilities. You morons in the UK don't know what that means. So shut the hell up. You can, never mind. I'm not even going to explain. I already explained everything. He showed up. Number one, it is illegal. I don't care what you say. If you are hiding a gun, you need to have a concealed permit. And if you did have a concealed permit, but you have no ID, you are illegally carrying that firearm. So yeah, he didn't get his Second Amendment right. Right. That's just what I believe. You don't have to believe me. Think what you want. All right, let's go ahead and play the next video here.
She was in the briefing room earlier today.
This tragedy occurred as a result of a deliberate and hostile resistance by Democrat leaders in Minnesota. Governor Walz and Mayor Frey have shamefully blocked local and state police from cooperating with ICE, actively inhibiting efforts to arrest violent criminals. They have also used their platforms to encourage left-wing agitators to stalk, record, confront, and obstruct federal officers who were just trying to lawfully perform their duties. This is precisely what unfolded in Minneapolis on Saturday morning. Obstructing federal law enforcement and inciting violence against officers is wrong and illegal.
Just yesterday, Governor Walz compared immigration enforcement in Minnesota to the Holocaust.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota.
Okay, so a little hyperbole there. Tomorrow is actually Holocaust Remembrance Day, so who knows what he'll come up with by then. But, Jesse, the president also put out a Truth Social statement saying that they had a good call and that they have some sort of way forward, hopefully, and maybe the Border Patrol leaving, if that happens to turn out to be the case, maybe that's one of the steps forward.
I'm very glad Walz called the White House, and they're both using the same word, which is cooperation, and that's all we've ever asked for. Hopefully we can just dial things back, we can get some cooperation, and people aren't needing to get hurt. He's not telling the truth, though, about the state. State corrections only cooperates after an illegal has been convicted and served their sentence. The city jails and the county jails do not cooperate, and they release dangerous illegal criminals into the streets, and that's why ICE is having to conduct these dangerous manhunts. But both sides need to change tactics. The governor of Minnesota is in open rebellion. He has called ICE agents Nazis. He's told the people to get in their face and to kick them out of the state. And now it's like a low-level insurgency. There's very sophisticated communication tactics. There's like food drops. There's supply chains. It's crazy. They have stormed into churches. They have broken into hotels. They've looted cars. They've lit fires. They've kicked. They've bit off fingers of federal immigration police. So it's out of control. And now they're aiding and abetting dangerous foreign nationals who are fugitives from justice. And what ICE needs to do in order to change tactics is stick and move. You're sitting ducks for 6 weeks, and you have no backup from feds, and you have no backup from the locals. And you've announced to the entire country that you are in Minneapolis. You don't need to do that. You need to be more stealthy. Sticking, like a boxer does not stand in the middle of the ring with his hands down and just gets hit and just gets hit. All right, even Tyson had head movement, okay? He had defense. He can hit hard, but you move away. That's what they need to start doing. The guy who brings a loaded firearm concealed into a dangerous fugitive operation is crazy. You do not bring a loaded gun and start violently and physically resisting and obstructing a manhunt. Okay, anybody who knows, you have a concealed permit, and some guy that is confronting you as federal enforcement, you say, here are my hands, I have a loaded weapon on me. And you wait for further instruction. You do not actively, physically resist. Now, you watch the video, and it's very, very chaotic. It may have looked like they might have disarmed this guy during the scuffle. You have whistles blowing, you can't hear anything. You hear gun, 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 gun. You know, the guy, anytime guy says gun, 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 and the subject pulls his arm back, you don't know if he's reaching, so obviously they're going to be doing a big investigation. They're going to find out what happened. We're going to look at the body cam. But it is not a clear-cut situation, and it's very divisive. It's partisan, the way they're reacting to it. And hopefully, if every side changed tactics, we can move forward and do what the American people have told the president to do, which is get these criminal illegals out of the country.
But it was the reaction to the chaos that you're watching right there on the screen, Jessica, I know you want to weigh in, that led to the president making this announcement today that Tom Homan is going to Minnesota, and now the Border Patrol is leaving.
Right, the president was forced to make that decision because what happened to Alex Preddy, that he was murdered, was not divisive and was not partisan. It was clear as day, and there are video analyses up in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal have both done incredible reporting on this, that you can see clearly that an agent had taken his gun already. I think it's the one wearing the black coat. Then you have the guy with the gray coat. After the guy is shot, you already get 10 bullets in him, even though his hands were up. He had his phone in one hand, which you're allowed to do, you're allowed to video. The other one like this, crouched over, and then you hear another guy going, where's the gun? Where's the gun? Well, shouldn't you know that before you kill somebody?
No.
It takes a lot.
No, you shouldn't.
It takes
And
a lot
thank God
to
you're not a police
unite
officer.
the NRA and Greg Abbott and other major conservative forces in this country against the Trump administration and the way they're doing immigration enforcement. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment have all been violated by the way that they are carrying this out. And people saw it clear as day, and that's why they responded this way. And the president, who I think most of the time has better instincts than Stephen Miller or Kristi Noem, could see this for what it was and knows that there has to be a change in course. But this rush to come out and say, again, like Renee Good, that he's a domestic terrorist.
But you're rushing too. You've clearly arrived at a conclusion before an investigation.
Based on watching all of the video, and the president.
Have you seen the body cam video? I was unaware you had the body cam.
You know what? It's going to exonerate all the agents. You're completely right. Stephen Miller saying an assassin tried to murder federal agents, and this is your response. And J.D. Vance retweeting it says something about where this administration is and how they're considering it before and after the murder of Alex Preddy. And this will go down in history as a turning point for this. Greg Bovino wouldn't be leaving tomorrow if an innocent person wasn't killed. And the double standards that are being employed for how you have to behave versus how these agents have to behave is mind-boggling to me. Kyle Rittenhouse was a conservative hero, right, for walking into a protest, actually brandishing a weapon. But this guy who had a legal permit to carry and already had his gun removed, to some people, I guess, is some sort of instigator when he was actually going to help a woman who had been pushed down and tear-gassed by ICE. We have the right to protest. That should be upheld and respected, and it is not being.
Jessica, did you call for an investigation after Renee Good? You did?
Yeah. Well,
So-
yeah, after.
So
actually,
are you calling for an investigation now, or are you just stating a conclusion? Because it seems like you've arrived at a conclusion before an investigation.
I'm saying that Jesse said this isn't divisive. This is divisive and it's partisan, and it's not.
I
Yeah, it
don't.
is,
I
Jessica.
know
it's
it's
not.
I
Yes,
think it
it
is
is.
irresponsible to call someone a domestic terrorism before you have the
So
facts.
you agree with me?
Yes,
that
I agree with you on
Kristi
that.
Noem, Stephen
but
Miller,
but here's
J.D.
the
Vance have
point,
all made
Jessica.
mistakes
We've
here.
listened for 2 minutes. You are no different than Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem came out and said domestic terrorist. You are coming out and saying murderer. When you say murder, you are calling those 6 agents murderers before you have the facts. The responsible way to handle this is to say, one, it is a tragedy anytime a U.S. citizen dies. It is a tragedy that Renee Good died. It is a tragedy that Alex Preddy died. Number 2, we call for an investigation because we don't arrive at conclusions. We don't call people domestic terrorists who were killed before investigations. Disagree with the administration on that. So too does
Renee Good.
So too does President Trump and on Renee Good.
No, well, he didn't on Renee
But
Good.
you are not calling for an investigation. You are retracting into partisan talking points by coming out and calling these guys murderers. We don't know the facts. A responsible thing is an investigation. President Trump has been the most responsible person in all of this. Today, Caroline was asked, what do you say when Kristi Noem says there was maximum maximum damage. And they said Trump wants an investigation and to let the facts lead. What do you think about calling them domestic terrorists? I have not heard Donald J. Trump characterize Alex Preddy that way. Donald Trump is responsible. You know who's not? Walz. I was on the airwave when this broke. 11:03 a.m. The White House called Walz. They were trying to defuse this. Walz comes out and says thousands of violent, untrained officers are out in Minnesota. One responsible party, the president. Did those underneath him act irresponsibly? Yes. But Walz and Donald Trump, don't even put them in the same camp. Donald Trump's leading. You are no different, I'm sorry, than Kristi Noem.
Real quick, as the one person who carries a gun just about every single day I'm not in this city, and the one person that's been in a similar situation holding a gun while people are rioting, and perhaps the one person who understands, I don't want to say the one, but someone here who understands this a little bit because I've been in that situation. There's a couple of things. Number one, the Second Amendment is a right. I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. You have the right to carry a weapon to defend yourself, not the privilege. It is a right. Those rights come with restrictions. I think you would understand that more than anyone at this table. One of those restrictions is you have to have your ID and your permit on you. We don't know. Current reports are he didn't have either one of those on, at which point he's not carrying legally. But number two, even beyond that, with the right to carry a firearm comes the responsibility to do it correctly and to do it with foresight and to do it understanding the situation you're walking into and what could happen once you get there. Just about every state offers a class on that. And if you carry your firearm, you should take that class. And if your state charges you for it, you should go protest for that class to be taxpayer funded because it is a right. So that's important. We can talk about policy all day long. There's only one person in this world that could have absolutely prevented Alex Preddy from getting shot that day, and it's Alex Preddy. That doesn't mean I think he should have been shot. I don't think it was necessary whatsoever to shoot Alex Preddy to save a life. But I get to watch that incident from behind Alex Preddy, not as one of the arresting officers and not as potentially the person that I believe from looking at the video did shoot him. Why does he have 10 rounds in him? Because if you have to shoot anybody once, you better shoot them enough to kill them, because if you're shooting somebody, you think they're trying to kill you. Every police officer in this country is taught that. If you want to change that, go lobby to have it changed. Why was he shot? He was shot because of the reasonableness clause, the reasonableness doctrine. The Supreme Court decided this, which is the fact that if you are a police officer conducting police work and someone has, and it's explicitly outlined, someone has resisted arrest, violently or not, disobeyed orders, and shown the means to harm you, then you have the ability to protect yourself. Now, do I think he should have been shot? No, because I see 10 things that happened before that happened that could have been handled differently. But what I don't see are the 10 minutes before that happened. You call him a protester, I call him an agitator. He showed up with a cell phone. He showed up in the middle of the street, in the middle of an operation. That's common sense. I don't care what your passions are. To carry a weapon on your person and to get in the middle of a police operation, whether you believe it or not, that is lawful. 100%. Another way it could have been prevented is if there was a police cordon from Minneapolis Police Department stopping people from, like Alex Preddy, from getting in the middle of the operation rather than holding a sign and speaking loudly and proudly from 100 feet away. That is the end of the story. There might even be a federal agent that goes to jail because some jury or a federal investigation decides he acted prematurely or shot him and shouldn't have. I'm not arguing or disputing that because I haven't seen the investigation. But I know for a fact Alex Preddy had no business where he was in that moment. I know for a fact that he did resist arrest. And if you are carrying lawfully, the moment you resist arrest, you are now carrying unlawfully, to the point that in the state of Minnesota, your carry permit is revoked in that moment. So the point here is nobody's condemned in this other than the politicians that let it happen. Yep. And if for you that's Donald Trump, and if for you that's Tim Walz, as an American citizen, I'm glad both of them talked today. This doesn't ever need to happen again. Border Patrol agents need to get to the border and do their job. Minneapolis Police Department, all 600 of them if they need to be there to help ICE surgically extract people like, what's his name, Jose Huerta Chuma, who is violent rap sheet that includes domestic assault involving intentional bodily harm. I don't care who you are in this country, but if you're willing to risk your life for that person, whatever happens to you, my sympathy goes down quite a bit. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I love people. I even love bad people. But for God's sake, have some common sense. That's your responsibility, especially if you're carrying a weapon. And that was not exercised, and I can't help that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
It's that simple. There's no confusion about it. People that keep saying, oh, Second Amendment right, Second Amendment right. Of course, a Second Amendment right. But I hope that you understood his explanation. Absolutely right. You have there's requirements for you to uphold your legal rights. It is not a privilege. You don't get to do whatever the hell you want with that right. You have to use that right responsibly. I don't care if you like my opinion or not. It is what it is. Not once have I ever taken my gun out when I am arguing with somebody on the street. I know that if I get pulled over by a police officer, two things can happen. It's going to go smooth or there's going to be a problem. And I can tell you every single time it will not be me. If a police officer pulls me over and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" "No." "Why did you pull me over?" "Okay." "You got license registration?" "Sure." "Sir, just to let you know, I have a concealed permit. I have a gun on my waist. If you need me to get out of the car, I would comply." You got to be able to use your courtesy, use common sense, man. Stop doing this bullshit videos that you've been watching about people being rebellious. Oh, know the law, know your rights. Shut the hell up. Of course you have rights, but use your rights responsibly. There's no need for you to instigate an argument or a fight with a law officer. We just don't do that. If they overstep, see, we're gonna cooperate, but if they overstep, there is a court that we can take them to and be like, "Hey, listen, I comply with everything. I got my camera. I record everything. I comply with everything he said. I was very polite. And if they find him guilty, you might even come out with some money for your troubles." So when I say shut the hell up, that's what I mean. I mean that you have your rights and they will be defended in court. There's no need, no reason for you to get shot for being stupid. It just doesn't work. I've shown clips over here to people, right, from a police officer that told a lady to shut the car off, turn the engine down. You know what? She didn't care. Put the car in reverse, exactly like Good did, exactly like that dumb lady, that dumb lesbian in Minnesota did. She backed up and then she moved forward, stepped on the gas. She didn't slowly drive away. And that is exactly where I get my conclusions on. You use common sense. Listen, somebody's pointing a gun at you. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Down here in Honduras, getting $10 is like getting 260 bucks, which still only means $10. But I can tell you this. Hold on. Let me see. Let me do some math. With $10, I can eat 3 times over here in Honduras. I can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, depending on what I order, of course. All right, let's see. Second Amendment is a null once. You are destined, once you touch an officer, you commit a 1-year felony and are disdained from the second. I don't know what the hell. I might be pronouncing it wrong or reading it wrong, but that is correct. You can lose your rights. For example, you say you want to use, hey, Robert, how are you, brother? Hope you're feeling good, my friend. Mike, hi, Mike, how are you? Sorry, I didn't say hello before. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to tell you. The video that I watched, it looked like the one of the ICE agents had disarmed the guy. Okay, now he may have said, "I got the weapon, I got the gun, I got the gun." My only excuse for them, it's going to be two things. Okay, two things, two excuses. One of them, he's fighting them, he's resisting arrest, and the second thing, it's that there is people with loud whistles making all this noise. It disorients the agents. It disorients everybody, even us listening to the videos. We don't like it. It emotionally, like, it pisses you off. It frustrates you. It's meant to disrupt your brain. To think there is chaos. So, with all that being said, even if the agent that took away the weapon from him and he said, "I got the gun," with all the noises, I'm sorry, but somebody could have misheard and just let it rip. And that is the problem. When you resist arrest with a gun, you don't want to do that. All right, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you. 8-year felony and detained. Oh, detained. Okay, bro. That makes more sense. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Time. Oh, wait a minute. Time is on my side. Yes, he is. I'm sorry, my patriots. I've been neglecting you. I'm so sorry. Let me send you all my love. Rush, babe, I love you, sis. You know that. Coyote, oh, welcome, brother. Welcome. Domestic terrorism, baby. I'm telling you. Listen, you can call me. You can call me whatever you want. But if I like, I'm trying to use common sense here. If you don't agree with me, that's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. People that are out there with whistles, banging on cans, and making all this noise. When ICE agents, and I've seen so many videos when ICE agents go and they say, step back, or hey, we're gonna go ahead and shoot a gas canister if you guys don't do that. They can't even hear the commands. That's how horrible it is. And I think that is the problem. I really believe that is the problem. All right, let's see who is in here. Hold on, people. I don't want to neglect you guys. Who is? Okay, hey, the small screens, guys. The small screen is killing me. Let's see. Oh, okay. So time on my side is the stream boss, and why not? We'll go ahead and play some stream boss because it's what we do. We celebrate together as patriots and as a family. Let's go. I'm on my side, the big boss, el jefe, el patron. So, anyways, guys, I'm not trying to, trying to make excuses for the ICE agents. But what I'm saying is they are there lawfully. They have the right to be there. They are enforcing the law. Whether you agree or disagree is irrelevant. It is constitutional. They have to enforce immigration laws. And I'm going to tell you, you know, I will be the first one. If they were going after us, like American citizens, and they were just like, oh, we don't want you guys on the street. We're doing martial law. Okay, I will be with you. I will agree with that. Now, if they do martial law on your city or your state because of your stupidity, that's your fault. But if we're not doing anything here in my state, in my city, I will be against it, and I will speak against it. Okay, but that's not that's against the Constitution to do that. So it has to be really extreme in order for us to even agree with that. But I can tell you that you're out there defending illegal criminal aliens. Let's get this clear. I know you guys never listen, but you got to listen. Listen. They are going after every single illegal immigrant to get them deported and out of our country. What you have to understand is that they said they're going after the hardcore criminals first. Never did they say nobody else. They also said, and anyone who stands in the way. Now, I'm going to give you some advice. If you are a green card holder, if you're a resident alien in this country, well, in the United States, right now I'm in Honduras, but in the United States of America, you better go look up the requirements for keeping that green card, because going out there and impeding against federal agents, you will lose that green card and you will get deported and maybe even get banned from ever coming back to this country. So think about that before you try to go stupid. If you are a naturalized American citizen and you have been a citizen for less than 10 years, you can lose your citizenship and be deported. So shut the hell up and stop saying I'm a resident or I'm a citizen. Oh, I got deported. You deserve it. You don't belong in our country. You are a disgrace. You are a traitor to our nation, trying to protect criminals and illegal aliens, trying to fight our federal agents who are trying to keep our cities and our states and the whole country safe. Riddle me this. Why is it that this violence only happens in blue cities and states, on sanctuary cities? Why is it that we didn't hear of all these riots in Memphis? Why was that? Why is it that President Trump has been very, very efficient and ICE agents have been very efficient in places like Washington, D.C., where he deployed the National Guard? Hundreds of illegal immigrants who were criminals got deported, and American criminals also got put in jail for their crimes. Let's not forget that the murder rate in this country has dropped 20%. Drugs coming into this country has dropped over 25% since President Trump has become in office. Think about that, libtards. Go ahead and tell me he's a bad guy. Listen, I said this before. Is he going to make a mistake? Absolutely, he's going to make a mistake. So what? We don't expect him to be 100% proof, 100% right. So what if he makes a mistake? As long as it ain't fatal to us, I don't give a shit. So what if he's spending another $9 billion on ICE agents? What you should be really pissed off about right now is what Biden created that problem. You know what I get pissed off about? When I have to clean up a mess that somebody else made. That's when I get pissed, because they should be made to clean it up themselves. So every responsibility of all the money being spent now to get rid of criminal illegal aliens, they should be blaming the Biden administration for allowing that open border policy to stay open, when we saw hundreds of thousands of people in caravans all the way from South America through Mexico, through Central America. Not only that, but also Chinese came through here. And let me be clear, for those of you who want to defend China, let me be clear that the Chinese people that came to this country illegally, yes, some were mafia, some were not terrorists, but they were bad people, but they were also middle class people, because the China situation has gotten so bad, people were not even being allowed to take money out of the bank because of some real estate fraud that the China has done over there, and all the poverty that they have been spreading out through China. Yeah, the government is rich, but the millions of the Chinese are broke. They're homeless. They don't got a place to be. For middle class citizens to flee your country, there's a problem. For 8 to 9 million people to flee your country, there is a problem. We need to deport every single person that does not love this country, that does not support the laws. And I can tell you right now, I am so proud and so happy when I meet other migrants like Dosito. I know Dosito's probably not on my live today, but Dosito, he's from Iraq. And Dosirio and his family are here in this country, and they defend it. They believe that everybody should come to this country legally. You know why? Because it was hard for them to get papers. It was hard for us to get papers. We waited. Guys, it took me 30 plus years to become an American citizen. And I think it's 100% worth it. So now what? Tell me that I'm going to agree with people cutting the line when there is people that have been waiting and waiting and have appointments for future, green cards to be given to them, future interviews. They're being pushed back and pushed back. Some people don't even get a reply because there's so many millions of backlogs of illegal immigrants that have busted into the United States of America. They can only do so much, man. And I'm not going to stand here and make excuses for people that want to break the law. Let's see. Somebody says chaos. And those Native American Indians were doing much worse to other tribes long before the white men. Okay, I thought it was going to go against me, but that's true. That's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I've always said on my channel. For those who don't know, if you go and read the title of my live, you will realize where I am. Let's see. If they start arresting people just because they want freedom and want to just live life and work, I would march on the streets. Well, Jason, you have to be careful with that statement because criminals also want that. Thank you, Chaos. Love you too, bro. Oh, I like you too. Yeah, we got to be very careful with that. Yeah, natives were doing that. Read your, yeah, that's absolutely right, Marty. Fort Lauderdale says, and you still can go to Home Depot, Dennis. Yes, I can. Uh, yeah, illegal and legal is a big difference. There are millions of legal migrants in the country. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, let me switch gears with you a little bit. Let me switch gears with you a little bit, okay? Just for a little bit. I'm going to tell you something. There's one thing that I love about the United States of America, and that is all the migrants, all of the migrants that we have in the United States. I love that. I love that. I've always been like that. You know, when I first came to the United States of America, I got to fly on this big 777 Boeing jet. It was amazing, huge plane. On my flight from Houston to Seattle, I met this Korean woman. She was, she's a few years older than me then. But there was something so beautiful about her. And I think it's because she kept smiling, and her smile seemed very genuine. It reminded me a little bit of the Karate Kid 2. You remember that? When he went to Japan and he fell in love with a Japanese girl? It reminded me of her. She was so kind, and I didn't speak English. She didn't speak Spanish. I didn't definitely speak no Korean. But we sat there and I had my notebook pad and we were just drawing things together. I tell you, I think I fell in love with her at 13. I think I fell in love with her, okay? Because she was so sweet. And I thought, this is the first person out of Honduran, because we got Asians, we got black, we got all kinds of people in Honduras as well. But this is a person that was not from Honduras. So you see, her culture is really Korean culture, and I don't know what that means or what that is, but I find that it was very beautiful. And I'm going to tell you, when we got to Seattle, we parted ways, obviously, and she went on to her trip. I think she was flying to North Korea or South Korea, whichever Korea it was. And I missed her. I'm like, why am I missing this girl? I just met her, I just spent like 4.5 hours, 5 hours on the plane with her, and I missed her. And then I went to my ESL classes, right, to learn English. And, I was put there with Japanese people. I was put there with Vietnamese people, with Russians, some people from Panama, some people from Nicaragua. And it was so lovely to see that we were all in the same school, but we weren't like one nation. I don't know how to explain this. Like here in Honduras, I know everybody, but we all speak the same language. But you are in this room and everybody speaks their own language. They don't speak English. But I thought, how wonderful is it that the United States of America has a place where all the people from all over the world can come in and bring their culture with them. Here's the key: assimilate. You can still bring your food, bring your language, but assimilate to the American way. See, I never ever supported any Mexican, any Hispanic trashing American culture. And I don't care what they say. Americans, you do have a culture. I don't care what they say. You do have a culture. And you guys actually have what we call the nucleus family. You guys actually have a godly foundation. It's not often seen anymore as it used to be back in the day. But the United States, you Americans, I want you to know you are descendants, not just of evil, not just of bad things, but also descendants from the grace and mercy of God. This country has to be what it is today so that we can get along with Native Americans, so that we can get along with any migrant from any country. They need to learn English. Why? So that we can communicate, so there's no misunderstandings. If there is old people, understand that it's going to be a lot harder for them to learn it. I make all the excuses for older people, but every young person, my age, 50 and under, we should be learning English. I don't care what anybody else says. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you, when I see a Chinese family just laughing and loving each other and sharing their food, I get teary up inside. I get happy about the Chinese. When I see Mexicans doing their celebration, they're not inviting me in because I'm not friends with them. But I watch them and I see their culture and I see their music and I hear their music and I see their food and the families hugging. I love that. That's great culture. When I see Russians, when I see Vietnamese, when I see Asian people with their food and everything, but you see the family being together, the togetherness, that is a beautiful thing to see. But you have to assimilate. You got to respect this country. You don't come over here and wave the Mexican flag. You don't come to the United States of America and wave the Honduras flag. You don't come to the United States of America and wave the Russian flag. We don't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should assimilate. Share your food, share family values, but don't insult the American people nor this country. Very simple. Let me go ahead and read something here from President Trump's tweet here. No. Sorry, I got a touch screen here. There we go. All right, going back to the subject here. Our politics. Our trade deals are very important to America. In each of these deals, we have acted swiftly to reduce our tariffs in line with the transaction agreed to. We, of course, expect our trading partners to do the same. Now, this is for those who don't like tariffs. I still believe that tariffs are a good tool to negotiate. Okay? South Korea's legislature is not living up to its deal with the United States. President Lee and I reached a great deal for both countries on July 30th, 2025, and we reaffirmed these terms while I was in Korea on October 29th, 2025. Why hasn't the Korean legislature approved it? Because the Korean, oh, sorry about that, because the Korean legislature hasn't enacted our historic trade agreement, which is their prerogative. I am hereby increasing South Korea tariffs on autos, lumber, pharma, and all other reciprocal tariffs from 15 to 25%. Thank you for your attention. Now, I want to be able to point this out to you guys. The reason why some of these countries are reneging on some of these agreements is because they see how Democrats are trying to push President Trump to not use tariffs. If they don't use the tariffs, the people will take advantage of it. That's just the way it works. All right, now I got some things to say here. I am pleased to report that Venezuela is releasing, I know you won't be able to read it there, but I'll read it for you, is releasing its political prisoners at a rapid rate, which rate will be increasing over the coming short period of time. I'd like to thank the leadership of Venezuela for agreeing to this powerful humanitarian gesture. Now, this is where I disagree with President Donald Trump. You know, like many people, you know, that feel that Putin is playing Trump for a puppet, I'm not going to say that's what's happening. But I really don't like the language of, I'm having a great deal with Delcy from Venezuela, the new president, and I'm having a great deal with this and that. And I hear them talking shit about the United States of America. So I expect President Donald Trump to step it up. See, the problem is that this Venezuelan regime, see, they think, they forgot already what it was like to come in and got Nicolas Maduro taken out. That was just a small insertion. But they don't understand that we can literally take them all out, completely out. And President Donald Trump, of course, he is doing what he needs to do, and he's trying to be very diplomatic about it. I understand that. But nonetheless, it still pisses me off that that I get to hear people from other countries talking shit about us because they know that President Donald Trump is trying to be diplomatic. So what am I saying? Delcy, who was the vice president, which also, by the way, is also a criminal, and I'm sure that she's going to get picked up very soon as well. She's been saying that she wants no interference from the United States of America. She's not going to listen to what the United States of America says. They don't need the United States telling them what to do. And then she goes on and saying that we are releasing these prisoners. I know, she's just talking shit. Just like the video that I showed you, right, from, well, everybody's shown the video already, but when Nicolas Maduro says, come and get me, you coward, right? My favorite video. I love it. All right, this is the next tweet from the president. I just had a very good telephone conversation with Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis. Lots of progress is being made. Tom Homan will be meeting with him tomorrow in order to continue the discussion. Well, I hope that it does.
My name is Angel Mom Miriam Mendoza. This is my son, Sergeant Brandon Mendoza.
My name's Angie Morphine Vargas, and I'm mother to Ruben Morphine. He was executed in the streets of Salinas in 1990. 34 years later, I could still cry for him like if it was yesterday.
My name is Maria Herrera Vega, and I'm the mother of Marine and Border Patrol agent Javier Vega Jr. Our son, who went by Harvey, was murdered August the 3rd, 2014.
My name is Chris Odette. I'm an angel father. My daughter, Krisha, was killed September 12th, 2014 by an illegal alien in Rockwall, Texas.
This is my son Ryan and his girlfriend, both poisoned to death by illicit fentanyl. I can't bring my son back, but we are doing all of this to save the future Americans from being poisoned to death by fentanyl.
My name is Agnes Gibney. This is my son Ronald Da Silva, who was murdered by a previously deported criminal illegal alien gang member.
My name is Angel Mom Miriam Mendoza. This is my son, Sergeant Brandon Mendoza of the Mesa, Arizona Police Department, who was killed on May 12, 2014 by a repeat illegal criminal. Thank everybody in this administration for finally paying attention to criminals who harm Americans.
We thank the Trump administration from the bottom of our hearts.
Without them, there would be no justice for my daughter.
We're finally getting some justice in this country for our children.
This right here is what should be living here in America, not criminals that are coming in right now.
You got that? What is this? California Post says Trump tells the feds to take over permitting to fast track wildfire rebuild. Help is on the way. Very nice. This guy. That was a guy that put a little Hitler mustache on Trump.
Elected more than anything else on the border. We had a border that was open with 25 million people coming through with an open border policy, which was insane. And that's the policy that caused the problems that we have. With all of that being said, other than, I would say, just to put it accurately, Minnesota, and in particular Minneapolis, because it's not all of Minnesota, every city that we've gone to has been, like, literally crime has gone down 50, 60, 70, 80. In Washington, it's gone down. There's practically no crime. You know, Washington is a great example, but you take a look at other cities, Memphis, Tennessee, the crime is down 78%. And you know where else it's down? It's down in Minnesota. It's down in Minneapolis. And it's down very much because of the fact that we're there. So we can't lose sight of the fact that we have to take murderers and drug lords and people from mental institutions that were dumped into our country through open borders of the Democrats, of Biden. And we're doing a great job.
So somebody told me a long time ago, bro, you're always talking about illegal immigrants and this and that. And you know what? It's always going to be about illegal immigrants because that is one of the biggest threats that we have in our country. That is how our enemies, infiltrate our country. If we start thinking that every single migrant that comes in here is a good person, nobody needs to be vetted, we're wrong. We're going to lose our country. So we always have to look after our country. I miss you guys. I miss being over there in the States because I feel for some reason I am closer to you guys. But I am here in Honduras, and I am happy that I get to spend some time here with some of my family that I have here in Honduras. But I also know that I want to be in the States again as well. Some people don't understand why that is, but it is what it is. Let me go ahead and find something here for you guys before. You guys already know what time it is. Somebody knows what time it is. Yeah, that's right. You guys know what time it is. So thank you guys for the PayPals. I see you on here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. Time on my side. Appreciate you always, my friend. Always. All right, let's go ahead and take a listen to one of our favorite chefs. Oh, Bird just decided to come over here and join me. You guys can't see it. Yes, I am a dove whisperer. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see what this is. Oh, what the heck? There was nothing there. My bad. All right, let's see. Try to make this baby bigger for you guys. All right, here you go. Crime Chef on site.
Insurrection in Minneapolis. Rioters are destroying a hotel that they believe ICE is staying at. ICE agents respond with force. A genius protester picked up a flashbang and it ended as you might expect. One question remains: when will Trump send the military? Just like the George Floyd riots, they are upset with the government, so they are taking their anger out on their own local businesses. Minnesota is full of idiots.
Medic.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is their best and brightest, picking up active flashbangs with their bare hands.
Oh my God.
Is everyone press?
Yes. Overnight. We're all members of the press. We're all pressed here. Okay. This officer appears to be bleeding from the mouth. Oh my God. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Says he's all right. He's all right.
Where's the local PD? That's my question for the press.
Okay. This officer.
Where is the local PD?
What's your message to the local PD, sir?
No.
Okay.
Well, the mayor.
Very chaotic.
Sir, while you're getting messages, what would your message to the protesters that want you out be?
My message to the protesters would be, get ready, because you brought this upon yourselves.
An impromptu press conference with the
As long as you're getting
No
comments,
comment.
do you have any comments
Please
to the
get
people that want you out?
back up. Please give me some room. It's ready. You press? Or you press?
Only press.
Get back. Amen. Get back.
One of the terrorists appears to have thrown an object at the agent. According to CNN, he was peacefully protesting and exercising his rights.
You see that? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. F these guys. Not cool.
Time to step down. It's a great time to step down, please. Please.
For the moron that says that this is copyrighted content, I have permission from the guy, you dumbass.
Okay, we got it. This is the Minneapolis Police Department. We're all under arrest. Sit down. This is the Minneapolis Police Department. You are all under arrest. Sit down on the ground. This is a lawful order for the Minneapolis Police Department. This is a lawful order for the Minneapolis Police Department. You are under arrest.
I can't tell if that's actually the police on the megaphone or some protester trying to troll the agents.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Good.
Let's go. Let's go. Keep moving. Let's go. Keep moving.
Press.
Where's the local PD? That's my question for the press. Where's the local PD?
What's your message to the local PD, sir? Oil up the mayor.
Sir, while you're giving messages, what would your message to the protesters that want you out be? As long as you're giving comment, do you have any comment for the people that want you out?
Back up! Please, give me some room!
You have blood on you.
It's me and 30 people! Please get back!
Officer, I am also a paramedic. You are bleeding. Can I help you?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm fine.
Sir, you're giving comment to the local PD. Do you have any comment to the community, the people that want you out, the people who are here specifically because your department is here? Do you think it's worthwhile if you're going to give comment? Don't you have comment for the people of Minneapolis? Right. Can you tell me what happened to your nose?
What made you take the actions you're taking?
Stay on that side of the road! If those guys approach, you gotta get down and get out of the way. Get back! Yes, I need some bodies. Don't bring them out here. Unless you're masked up. If you're masked up, let's go. Are you pressed? Yeah.
Yep, I'm right here.
Alex taught us to be brave.
Alex taught us to be brave.
Alex taught us to be brave.
Alex taught us to be brave. We're not cold, we're not afraid.
Alex taught us to be brave. Alex taught us to be brave.
Pay close attention to the delusional ramblings of the Minnesota Karen.
We're not afraid.
We're not cold, we're not afraid.
Alex taught us to be brave.
Alex taught us to be brave.
Liberation! Down, down with these.
This is the most stereotypical Karen. You can tell by her brightly colored attire, overweight face, and screechy voice.
They have a responsibility to us and we.
Renee Good and Alex Preddy are not the first Minnesotans to be horrifically executed by law enforcement. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! We know and resistance to ongoing genocide. Currently facing. Klobuchar has a long history of not doing the right thing.
We the people!
They do not. Promises won't bring Liam home. Power to choose inaction. Amy, we are paying the price for your passivity in blood. We will show up and we will keep showing up to make our demands heard. And the agony of their constituents. They don't get to ignore our demands. We have lost friends, mothers, fathers, students, nurses,
Obstructionists, terrorists, criminals, and idiots.
beloved members of our community, and this has not been enough for them to show up. Not with their words, but with their actions.
Go!
Palestine to Mexico!
Border walls have got to go!
Border walls have got to go!
They just admitted it. They are anti-America. A nation without borders is not a nation. They are insurrectionists through and through.
All right, let's go ahead and welcome our first speaker of the day, Murta from the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Act.
Minnesota presente! Minnesota presente!
To define what community safety looks like.
Community safety is not impeding federal agents then charging at them, especially when you are carrying a concealed weapon. It's quite easy to avoid being shot.
Sorry to say, guys, but those are the morons that we have in our nation that we have to protect from themselves. We have to keep fighting because you know, even in their own message, you know, they say if we stay quiet, well, that's what happens. They go rampant on all these stupid things. But I want to go ahead and talk more about the fraud going off in Minnesota, and maybe some things that that are happening in Washington State as well. I will say this to my patriots: for those of you who support me, if anybody from Washington State ever gets to watch my videos, uh, all of the things that the Democrat government is doing right now, I am taking account of, and I am going to go ahead and run my campaign on trying to make Washington State great again. And I'm going to tell you, I almost like didn't want to do it anymore, and I was just going to be like, you know what? What's the point? There's no reason for me to even try. Like, you know, who knows? It's a long shot. It's not going to happen. Blah blah blah. And then I realized that if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? I'm sick and tired of our state, which is so beautiful, being destroyed by libtards, socialist, communist, Marxist, Democrats. It's what we have. I know a lot of Republicans, whatever little bit of Republicans we had left, are leaving Washington State, so they say. But you see, in order for a governor to win an election, he doesn't rely on just one party. He has to rely on American citizens, the people that actually have a voice. See, nationals, green card holders, nobody has a voice but the American citizens. They're the only ones that have a voice because they're the only ones that can vote. So I'm not going to call out on Republicans, independents, or even Democrats. I'm going to call out on Americans who can vote, who want a change, who want our immigration laws to work. We're going to get rid of this bullcrap line of decades and decades of waiting for an appointment to get papers. People that deserve to get papers should get the papers immediately. We're going to see if we can join hands with the federal government and see if we can do immigration reform through Congress, of course. But you guys, every single person that comes into my channel, every single person that watches the news, and every single person that watches the campaign that we're going to throw out, you guys will know that one of the promises that we are making is going to be transparent, to make sure that you, the American people, know exactly what's going on in Washington State. I believe the voter ID has passed, and I believe that voter ID is going to be implemented for voting on the next elections. So in May, during opening enrollment, I am going to put my name on that ballot. And I want to say thank you to the libtards, and thank you to all the crazy ass Democrat politicians that are out there destroying our cities and our states, and all those crazies that have no common sense. Thank you, because you're forcing me to run for governor. Even though some of the libtards that come in here, some of the illegal immigrants, that come to my chat that says I'm illegal. Well, I think they're going to be able to stop saying that once they see me as the governor of Washington State. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with my hair, but I might cut it off. Who knows? Or I'll just keep the long Indian braid on, and we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, guys, we're going to talk a little bit more about Washington State, what's going on here on my next live, which I don't know when that is going to happen, but I can tell you it's going to happen. I can't wait to get back to Washington State. I can't wait to get back into the comfort of my own home and be able to hit this every single day. You guys know it. Monday through Friday, Saturdays, I got to push it forward. But Sundays, I try to take my time. And I just love talking to you guys. I don't love the lip tarts too much. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to say this. If you believe in God, God says to love thy neighbor as you love yourself. That doesn't mean that we have to live with them. That doesn't mean that we're supposed to love their sin. So even though I love you, but if you're a troublemaker and all you do is piss me off, I'm going to love you, but I want you to shut the hell up and get out of my channel. My dear family, my patriots, Rush Babe, thank you for being here with me today. I know Trinity has been busy with some stuff. Thank you, Brian, Robert, Coyote, time on my side. Appreciate you. Who else did come into the channel today? Everybody else that come in. Thank you so much for being here. Sandra, I see you. God bless you. God bless your families and God bless the USA. Guys, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the super chats and those PayPals. You guys know this is what I do for a living. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So thank you for that support. Thank you for the love. Till next one.